Hello, everyone. We'll wait a minute just so more people can join. Okay, I'll check my email today and I'll make sure I get all that done for you guys because I know some of you probably have messaged me. Happy Memorial Day, guys. I hope you guys had fun today. We were at the pool during the day, so I'm a little tired. And if I sound very monotone, that's probably why. I hope you guys are enjoying the weather today. I hope you guys had some good food. Honestly, I completely forgot that today was Memorial Day. And so the fact that I have a seminar today, I apologize. I don't know. But thank you for joining and thank you for being here. I cleaned a little bit today too, like earlier in the day. Oh, well, welcome. Someone said they've never had a workshop with me. So they're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it too. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, the pool water draining, not only that, but like being in the sun is a lot. It's a lot. And then I have a 1 year old. So yeah, it was fun, but it was a lot. Okay, so we're going to get started. So, just a quick intro for me. My name is Lilly Jamoua. I am from the Chicagoland area. I am a makeup artist and a licensed esthetician. I mainly do makeup for weddings. So, every weekend I'm booked with a bride and her bridal party, or just the bride. I also do event makeup. I'm booked for all types. I used to do like a lot of body painting and special effects, but I do not do that stuff anymore. It's kind of daunting for me. So I get those like bookings very sparingly, but for beauty, I get every weekend almost. And I am a licensed esthetician, so I know how to do facials, laser hair removal, so I know a bit about skincare as well. I have been published, and I have been in the last season of Married at First Sight. I don't think there was a new season, but the Chicago season, season 18, I'm pretty sure. I'm like in the first episode. I do makeup for one of the brides to be. So I've been on production shoots as well. So I kind of had my like, you know, I've had a feel for almost everything in my field, especially for makeup. For my esthetician side, it's a little bit less, but I usually, kind of try new things every once in a while. And in the beginning of my makeup career, I definitely said yes to a lot of things, but it really did help with gaining experience. So today, we're going to do is I'm going to show you like a PowerPoint. Pretty much a presentation of the basics of eyebrows and makeup with eyebrows and eyebrow shapes and how to groom eyebrows and all of that fun stuff. And then towards the end, we always have like a Q&A section or like a discussion section. And then I do have my email there. So if you guys want this slide, I can definitely send it to you. I can send you all of the slides that I've done in the past as well. And yeah, it's just a fun time here. So we talk makeup, skincare, and I kind of have like basic how-tos for you guys. Sometimes I have live tutorials where I'm doing makeup for you guys on screen. So if you guys are ever interested in something like that, totally join for those. And then please, please, please keep your questions towards the end of the PowerPoint because it's kind of hard for me to go back and forth. And then, yeah, let's get started. I'm going to start sharing my screen. So just give me 1 second. Okay. All right, awesome. So, makeup basics. So, this is going to kind of be like a part of my new series I'm going to have. So it's called Makeup Basics. I'm going to go through pretty much everything that you would do in your makeup routine and kind of go a little bit more in depth, but on a basic level. So everybody can understand what you do it for, what it's used for, and how to do it as well. Because really, I always like to tell you guys the reason why I do these kind of seminars is because if and when you do step on set one day and they don't have a hairstylist or a makeup artist, it's very important that you guys know how to do something, at least like the bare minimum for yourself. If you are able to do that, if you're able to kind of like do something on the go, if they ask you last minute, that will, make people want to book you because you are responsible and you are able to handle your own makeup or hair if need be. However, I don't do hair, so I can't advise you guys on anything on hairdos, but for makeup and skincare, I definitely can. Okay, so we are going to get started. Let me just move this because I can't see that much. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so you can kind of see in this picture, like her eyebrow is definitely filled in. It's filled in with makeup. It's filled in very well. It's very defined. However, it is a little bit on the natural side, but it is very defined. Okay, so today's PowerPoint is pretty much going to be like basic how to. I'm gonna show you some beauty trends, and then I'm gonna go over some of the makeup products that you would use as well. So, just the basic outline of eyebrow shapes and grooming. So, this picture here is a great, great, great presentation of like each pretty much shape that you can have for eyebrows. Everybody has their own shapes. And it's pretty much personalized to your own face. And honestly, I will say the shape of your eyebrows really do affect your, facial structure and how you look. There are some celebrities out there that look very different nowadays, but honestly, sometimes it has to do with the fact that their eyebrows are being done differently, or that they're a different shape, or that they're a little bit more full. So it can really, really kind of dictate the rest of how your face is shaped based on your eyebrows. And you can definitely tailor your eyebrows to make it look like a different shape. However, it's always, better to kind of keep them the way that they are and just add to them if need be. The rule for eyebrows is both of your eyebrows are sisters, never twins. So they are related, but they are not twins. They're not supposed to be identical. Um, Someone's face, 100% most of the time is not fully symmetrical. So for your eyebrows to look completely identical on both sides is very, very extremely rare. And sometimes it kind of makes you look a little weird if they're fully symmetrical. So that is the saying. You always want to go for that they're sisters and that they're never twins. So you can see that there are 6 different shapes to eyebrows. These are just the basic shapes that I learned about, and also that are just out there and is a basic level. You have your curved, high arch, straight, S shape, angle, and then soft arch. You can obviously kind of look at the pictures and guess for yourself which one you feel it looks most like yours. Not everyone's going to be this exact picture, but anything that looks similar to it may be it, right? So a lot of the times we know we groom our eyebrows, male or female. If you've never done it, that's totally okay too. Sometimes people don't need to groom their eyebrows. Sometimes your eyebrows are great just the way that they are. And then, so, people are just like a little bit more familiar with some of these techniques and some people aren't. So I'm going to kind of go through each one as well. So that way you guys get a little bit of basic knowledge on that. So some grooming techniques would be waxing, threading, or tweezing. And I'm sure all of you guys have tweezed once in your lives. So eyebrow waxing, it involves applying warm wax to remove unwanted hair for a clean, defined look. This picture obviously shows the wax, the really pretty pink color. It offers long-lasting results, enhances facial features. It's a quick, affordable grooming option. So the way that it offers long-lasting results is when you pull the wax and the hair is removed, the wax removes the hair and the follicle. So it starts the growing stage of that hair in that pore all over again. There are three stages to hair growth, and that's going a little too much into detail, but all that it is it really takes out kind of like the root of the hair. And so that it takes a lot longer for the root to grow and then the hair to start growing from there. So that's kind of how you want to think about it. Um, Obviously I'm going to put some aftercare tips in there, but after you're done getting wax, you keep the area clean, avoid any heavy makeup, apply any soothing products to prevent irritation. So like most of the time people will get red when they get their eyebrows waxed or any of these other grooming techniques, and that's super duper normal. It's just, it's like they say, beauty is pain. So sometimes it is painful for some, and some people think it's not painful at all. Next technique would be eyebrow threading. So threading is a technique. It's precise hair removal method using a twisted thread to shape eyebrows by removing unwanted hair. It offers clean, defined brows with minimal skin irritation. It is painful, but it is better for some people suitable for more sensitive skin, just because it's not using any warm wax that is kind of like pulling hair in a bigger surface area of skin, rather than just the thread literally kind of wraps itself around the hair and pulls the hair. It's the friction of the thread going against the skin that can be a little bit more on the painful side, but it usually is used for people who have irritation to wax or don't usually do well with wax. Some people get hives with wax, which is normal, but it is an irritation and people don't like it. So then they go to threading and it works a lot better for them. Threading is very, very popular in the Middle East, in South Asian cultures. So it's just very popular. I'm sure you guys have heard about it before. If you haven't, YouTube it. It's very, very interesting. And I would say that when you get your eyebrows threaded, it is a different outcome than waxing. Sometimes I feel like when you get your eyebrows waxed and when I wax eyebrows, I feel like I can't get as detail oriented as threading, because when you're threading, you can literally take the thread and go around one little hair and take that out, rather than going with the wax and it being more difficult to go in for just one single hair. So keep that in mind. And then obviously aftercare, keeping the skin clean, avoiding any makeup, and then if there's any irritation, using anything that will calm it down. A lot of the time that can be any type of aloe vera. I do use like Aquaphor to kind of keep it calm and keep it moisturized, and then a cold compress really helps as well. The last I would say for eyebrows is tweezing. I'm sure everyone has tweezed once in their life or have seen somebody tweezing. So tweezing allows precise shaping of eyebrows by plucking individual hairs, enhancing facial symmetry and overall appearance. The tool is a fine point tweezer, or sometimes tweezers can have like a slant to them that has one pointy side. And some of them are like really, really skinny, and some of them are a little bit more on the thicker side. Proper technique ensures minimal discomfort and optimal results during eyebrow shaping. That is very true. I will say eyebrow tweezing is the least painful. However, some people really don't like it because it is literally taking one hair out at a time. So some people may think that that's more annoying, and it is a tedious job. You could do it at home, so it doesn't cost a lot. Tweezers are also very affordable. And it's just great for any type of detail work that you want to do. Again, if you want to get that one single hair, and if it's just something that you want to do, like diving into shaping your brows, it's very easy to use a tweezer, then go in and get threaded or waxed. So if you feel like that's a good step for you, you guys can definitely do that. A really big tip though, if you're going to go in and tweeze, literally count to 10, and every 10 seconds, step away from the mirror, because I feel like when we're really close to a mirror and we're plucking for a while, we can get carried away. And so when you step away, you can see how much you've taken off instead of taking off too much. So keep that in mind, okay? And then same thing, applying anything that's soothing, cold compress, aloe vera, Aquaphor. Try to keep makeup off it for like 24 hours. And then, yeah, any other like aftercare that I've said, and keeping it moisturized as well. If you're very used to grooming your eyebrows, you can definitely put makeup on right after. It's just for some people who don't get it done often, your skin can be a little bit more irritated, or your skin will reject the makeup because it's trying to heal what just happened. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so we're going to go over makeup products for eyebrows. Um, and this is like the makeup product glossary that I've made. So the most popular that people use and you can find anywhere in any store would be an eyebrow pencil. A pencil used to define and shape eyebrows by filling in sparse areas. Eyebrow pencils can be retractable, so they can be those like plastic kind of pencils that roll up and down with a brush at the end, or it can be a wooden pencil that you have to sharpen. But majority of the time, if it's an eyebrow pencil, it will always have like that little bristle brush at the end, because you always want to brush your eyebrows as you are applying the makeup. It really helps blend it out, and it really helps kind of move the product where it needs to be as well. Um, that's the most popular. You can find them in a bunch of different colors, and there's uh, eyebrow pencils in almost every single brand. So you just have to find one that you like and then go from there. There's also eyebrow gels. Eyebrow gels, I would say, like if I were to compare it to something, is kind of like a mascara, but for eyebrows. So it's just a gel product that's used to set or shape or add color to eyebrows. So you can get like a tinted eyebrow gel that has a little bit of color. So if you don't want to fill in your eyebrows with a pencil, you can use that, and that really helps fill it in. I use sometimes a colored eyebrow gel for a lot of my brides who are very blonde and you have very blonde eyebrows. Sometimes you can look like you don't have eyebrows, but your hair is just so blonde that you can't really tell that there's hair there. So anytime you just want to use like a tinted eyebrow gel, like that's literally all that you have to do your brows. You don't have to fill it in with a pencil. Sometimes you just need a tinted brow gel, and it really does help. I use eyebrow gel almost every time I, go out or I'm doing something. Sometimes I don't even fill in my brows. I just shape them really nice and set them in place with an eyebrow gel. And I feel like that's good enough for me. There are eyebrow powders. This is a very popular product. I actually use a lot of just powders for my brides and for my clients. It's used to fill in eyebrows, but it has a lot more of a softer and natural appearance. It's so much easier to use. It's very it's very flexible. Like if you mess up, it's totally okay. You can kind of like wipe it or you can brush it away. So it's very easy to use, and it's again very natural and softer. So that something to keep in mind if you don't wear a lot of makeup, but you want to have a little bit of a brow powder is a great option for you. There are eyebrow stencils out there, and I'm pretty sure that they have like different shaped stencils, kind of like the different shapes I showed you a few slides ago. Almost every brand makes them, especially the brands who specialize in eyebrows. Kind of like there's a brand called Anastasia Beverly Hills. That's a very popular brand that you can find in Ulta or Sephora. And I'm pretty sure they have eyebrow stencils, but you can definitely look online. You can look through Amazon to get an eyebrow stencil. You can get one that's similar to your shape, and then you can kind of mess around with it and see where you need to use it. For an eyebrow stencil, I don't want you guys to think about it as like a one like shape thing, like you have to fill in the whole thing. You can get an eyebrow stencil, and if you feel like you just need a little bit more at the tail end of your eyebrow, you can use that stencil just for that area. You don't have to use the whole thing. You don't always have to use it like for its one and only purpose. You can kind of get creative with it, and you can use like the straight side to kind of define your eyebrow if you need to. So many cool things that you can do with a stencil. But they are a template used to guide shaping and filling in the eyebrows and making it even. This will make your eyebrows a little bit more on the symmetrical side, so just keep that in mind, that if you feel like you're starting to look a little different in pictures, or if you feel like, whoa, that was more intense than I wanted it to be after you've done it and looked in the mirror, it's most likely because now they kind of look exactly the same, and not everyone's eyebrows look exactly the same. So just keep that in mind. And then there are brow pomades. brow pomades were extremely popular 2015 to 2017. In that era of makeup where people were in full glam, full thick eyelashes, and a full brow, like a block brow, like all you saw was the color, you didn't really see hair, they used brow pomade. Brow pomade is literally a pomade in a little glass jar, and they all have color. It's a waxy like product. And there are different colors that you can get, and it is used to sculpt and fill in the brows, but it's very bold and they're very defined. So just keep that in mind. So if you feel like you do need a whole brow, a brow pomade is the way to go for you, but it is a huge learning curve. It's not very consumer friendly. You really have to know how to do your eyebrows and like where the 3 points are, like the starting points, to make sure that you're kind of, drawing out like a good, correct eyebrow. So using it to practice really helps, but you really need to practice. It is a skill. I will say that. Whenever I have clients and I have to literally give them an eyebrow, I pray to the makeup gods, I take a deep breath, and then I do my 3 points, and then I go from there. And I'll discuss the 3 points with you guys. But it is difficult and it is a skill, so you do have to practice it. So if it's something that you need to do, I would say go buy a brow pomade and just practice in the mirror a few times. Once you start to feel more comfortable, a lot of the times people become a pro at it, and it's like it takes them 5 minutes. So, if that's something that you guys are interested in, definitely watch some YouTube videos, but practice makes better, not perfect, but it makes it better, definitely. So here's the eyebrow guide that we were just talking about. So these are the 3 points. So what I always do is I take like my brush or my pencil and I use that as a guide. So the first point would be the side of your nostril going straight up. And if you make a line right here, that's the start of your eyebrow. You want to take that pencil, take it at the end of your nose and keep it on a diagonal right across your pupil. And that's your second point. And that would be the top of your arch. That would be a line right there for a guide for me. That's 1 point. And then the end, you would take your pencil, your brush, put it right underneath your nostril, and you would go off to a diagonal towards the corner of your eye. And that is the tail end of your eyebrow. Again, I can send this whole, all the slides to you guys so that you guys have this very precise guide to eyebrows. But these are the 3 main points. These are very important. I do this if I have to make a whole brow on someone, I use these 3 points. I take my pencil and I make a point here, here, and here. And that is what I use as my guide, and I fill in. And of course, I step away. I check to see if I feel like it's looking a little awkward or if it's a little too high, or, if it's a little too low, if I arch a little too high, because sometimes with a high arch, some people can just like look surprised forever, and we don't want that. So doing this is very important. And it's kind of what everybody follows. Even if they're getting your eyebrows groomed, a lot of the times they will do like an outline of your brow and just make sure that they have the shape in mind, and they use the 3 points as well. So estheticians, makeup artists, we all use the 3 points for your eyebrows. Okay, so how to apply the products. So it says to start by, obviously, I always say to keep your eyebrows clean, but it's really, you are going to clean your face before you do your makeup, I would hope. You always want to clean, exfoliate, and moisturize. Those are the 3 non-negotiables when you start your makeup. I say this every class. Cleanse, exfoliate, and moisturize. 3 non-negotiables. So start by cleaning and brushing your eyebrows to create a smooth, even texture, surface and application. You can exfoliate by brushing through your eyebrows, but don't be too aggressive. Sometimes you can make hairs fall out, and not all of us want our eyebrow hairs to fall out. Choose the right product. So like I said, with that glossary that I had, you kind of have to decide what is the best product for you. Do you feel like you have a lot of sparse areas that you would benefit from having a pencil? Do you feel like you have enough brows, but you want a more natural look and you want to put a little bit more in your eyebrows? a powder would be for you. You have literally almost no eyebrows, so you want to have a full bold eyebrow, a pomade is for you. So you kind of have to figure out what product you can use that's best for you, and then you go from there. You also want to match your cut, like, the color. I always say go one color like lighter than your hair, because sometimes people want to go the exact same, and sometimes with having a very dark eyebrow, it can make things look intense and it can make you look a little bit different than your normal self. So I always say one shade lighter than your hair color than on your head. And when you're applying the product, you want to use light, short strokes, and then you're following the growth pattern of your hair. So as you can see in this picture, her hair grows to the side like this, or diagonally up, right? And then at the tail, it's going to go diagonally down. So with the pencil, I'm going to follow the hair growth. So I'm going to go this way, short strokes, just like that, until I get to the tail end right here. And then I'm going to go downwards, just like that. Okay, so you want to have short strokes following your brow's natural shape to define and fill in sparse areas. If you have a lot of hair in certain areas, you don't have to use the makeup to fill in that area. Like I said, you kind of have to experiment and you have to practice and see what you think looks best on you. Okay, so history of eyebrows. Let's just go over kind of some fun little tidbits. So 1920s was very thin, very long. There was a little bit of an arch. So a lot of the times women would cover up their eyebrows with a little bit of powder, and then they would draw a line right across their own eyebrows and make it seem like they have one, very, very thin eyebrow, kind of like in this picture and in this picture. 1930s gets even thinner, but a little bit shorter. And now it's like almost a half circle across the eyebrow. There's no arch. 1940s, we brought back some of the thickness. We brought back some of the natural looks. Same thing, 1950s. And then in the 1960s, we got a little bit shorter. 1970s and 1980s, we went back to natural, nice, thick eyebrows. In the 1990s, we reverted back to the 1920s a little bit. We got really, really thin. We plucked our eyebrows and we regret it now. And then in the 2000s, we all started growing back our eyebrows, and nice, thicker, fluffy eyebrows are back in style. They kind of haven't haven't got out of style. But what I will say is, which is really, really fun, is that eyebrows are kind of like a big experiment nowadays. You don't really have to have the exact same like style as what everybody else is having. Some people can bleach their eyebrows and have almost no eyebrows. Some people can have very thin eyebrows, if whatever they're feeling. And honestly, nowadays you can cover your eyebrows kind of like she did in this picture, and you can give yourself a whole new eyebrow. So there's no real rules and it's a lot of fun. But just so you know, eyebrows really do shape your face. And once you do change it, you start to look really different, honestly. But you guys can go ahead with the questions. I am in the Q&A section now, and we can have some discussions about eyebrows. And let me know, did you guys overpluck in the mid 90s, late 90s, and you're regretting it now? Let's try to keep the questions surrounded by like makeup and eyebrows. Um, if we have any other questions, you guys can email me. Because somebody asked me about electrolysis. I'm pretty sure for hair removal. I am not like I don't know much about electrolysis. I will be honest with you. It is a specialty I do not offer. But if you're having trouble with hair growth, um, try laser hair removal. That's a different removal technique you can try. Is that why people look muscular when they, yeah, people will look very different when they shave off their eyebrows. Um, some people can look muscular, some people can look a little bit like an alien. It's just that you can now see your brow bone, so it just is very different, and it's some people are just not used to it. That's for sure. And honestly, sometimes you don't have to shave them. You can bleach them, and it looks like you shaved your eyebrows. It's pretty crazy. Yes, see, someone has overplucked and now they have to fill in their brows with either a pomade or a cream pomade. And it happens to the best of us. My sister is she also does the same thing and she's told me about overplucking and that was a thing back in the day. Yes, all of these pictures have unique looks. And honestly, too, when you're doing like a period piece or you're going back in time and you're going to be in the roaring 1920s, you're going to need very thin eyebrows and that is the look. It's good to know makeup references, it's good to know all of these things, so if you ever are in the need to know it, at least you've seen it before. What are some permanent brow treatments? You can get microblading. That is like almost like tattooing your eyebrows. You can get permanent makeup done. That's kind of like tattooing makeup. Um, I know of those two different treatments, but I've never done them before. Those are not something that I specialize in. But I know people do it. So it's called microblading, or you can do permanent makeup, which is pretty much getting them tattooed. I will be honest. And I'll be honest with you too, if you are looking into doing permanent makeup, a lot of the times um, it fades very weird. Being a makeup artist and seeing people who've had their eyebrows microbladed and they'll be like, oh, I got it done 2 years ago. Some people's microblading like fades to like green. So you'll have like green eyebrows. So just make sure you vet the person who's doing it. You do a lot of research. You've seen their work long term, and you're ready to invest. I know it's expensive and you have to do touch ups and all of that. So just, do all your research before you do any type of permanent anything on your face. Trust me. I have very blonde eyebrows, so I'm going to try the gel, but um, my problem is how to do it. Literally, it's a brush. It's like a mascara. So you take it out of the tube and you brush your eyebrows. You do want to be a little bit more light-handed with it, but just going right over your eyebrows, especially your blonde hairs. I would definitely practice at first because sometimes because you have blonde hair, sometimes you may have blonde hairs in areas that are can like make your eyebrows look a lot thicker than you're wanting. So just, practice and see where you like it. But it's literally like a mascara. It's super easy. It's not very difficult. But again, just try to get one shade lighter than the hair on your head. For men who can grow facial hair, do our facial hair colors match our eyebrows or our head hair color? That's such a difficult question. I am not a hairstylist. Like I said, I did not go to cosmetology school. I went to esthetician school. However, I do know that beards can grow in at different shades. Like when my husband goes in the sun, his beard kind of turns a little red. But for men, I would definitely try to stay one shade lighter than your the head on your the hair on your head, because you probably already have hair on your eyebrows. You're probably just trying to fill in any other areas, and you don't want it to look too dark because then you're going to make everything else look darker. So something to kind of just like mesh in, if that makes any sense. But yes, I would still go one shade lighter, even for guys, and then I wouldn't match it with your beard or the hair on your head because even those two don't match. Do you have any tips for grooming eye area for male actors? I would definitely go and get them waxed, get them threaded. You can wait and see if that's something that your production team is interested in. If they want you to groom your eyebrows, I would ask your manager or agent, whoever it is, like just making sure that you are going to be grooming your eyebrows and you may look a little different if that's going to be, and you don't want to go anywhere and tell them to give you a whole new eyebrow. Just, a good cleanup, but a waxing, threading, guys can get those things done too. And you can go to a different salon, you can go to eyebrow places. There's a bunch of places you can go to. How often should someone get their eyebrows waxed? I would say every 4 weeks or every 3 weeks, but personal preference as well. I don't go every 4 weeks. I do them myself, and sometimes I let them grow in for a while, and then if I feel like I really need to do them before a special event, then that's when I will do them. Um, I do use again an eyebrow gel every day to kind of like shape them and put them where I want them. But grooming them, like wax them or thread them, I'll do like every 4 weeks. But if you need it, if you like that tailored, very groomed look and you grow hair very often and a lot of it, go as often as you need to. Honestly. And that would be like what, every 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. No worries. I'm used to people spelling my name wrong. It's sometimes you can't even see that there's only one L and not two L's. It's okay. I was taught to wow, English. I was taught to apply brow product in the opposite direction of hair. For instance, I began in the inside and brush downward to fill in the brows as I move outward. Uh, wait. Um, I mean, if it works for you, go for it. That's not how I was ever taught to do it. Sometimes when you're manipulating hair like that, um, it can just like make your eyebrow hairs fall out more. But if it works for you, do it. Honestly, I'm not going to knock it, obviously, until I try it. But I've never done that. And that's very interesting. But there's nothing wrong with that. Again, if it's working for you, that's totally okay. I just wouldn't do that to any clients. And that's not how I would teach someone how to do eyebrows. That's not how I was taught the basic knowledge of how to do eyebrows. But again, if it works for you, you keep doing it. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Right. So, like I said, you're going to use the product in the direction of your hair growth. So, if you're going to use it in the front and your hair is growing straight up, you are going to do very soft, light strokes, short strokes going upwards. And then once your eyebrows going towards the end, it usually goes diagonally this way. So that's the way that you would use the brush and so on and so forth. And you can definitely YouTube it and, watch a bunch of tutorials. But if going the opposite way works for you, that's totally fine too. You don't really have to switch it up. But if you want to learn, that's totally okay. But yeah, so you would use a brush or the pencil and you would use the strokes lightly, like going from the inside of your eyebrow going outward towards the tail end instead of going the opposite way. Go with the hair growth instead of against it. I'm so happy you guys thought this was very helpful. I hope it was knowledgeable for you guys as well. But it's fun. And again, eyebrows are huge. Like if you're doing a roaring 20s styled commercial or shoot, the eyebrows are huge, especially for the women. That's a very big, like, costume focal point for a roaring 1920s look is the very skinny eyebrows. Same thing with the 1930s. And then, for the 90s, same thing, very thin eyebrows. And so like that's something to keep in mind, any kind of character makeup, a lot of these things are, considered. And so having the history of all of these different types of looks and what trends were going on back then, and then being able to apply it to anything that you're doing really does help. And having that knowledge also very like helps a lot. How much? How much should you curl lashes? You can just do a normal amount. You don't have to make them look super duper curly. Anything that's more on the natural side, but at least you look like you have lashes. So just a very slight amount works just fine for male actors. You guys are so welcome for all of this, and I'm so happy about your new tweezer set. Um, I need a few new tweezer sets, one for the spa suite and then one for my kit. because they're kind of ruined because I dip them in alcohol so often. Any other questions? Do you think people who grow unibrows follow the same thickness and thinness like everybody else? Um, Growing a unibrow kind of is a little bit different because it's just hair in the middle of the eyebrow. Sometimes it doesn't really like matter what your eyebrows are doing. Majority of the time, people get it waxed or pluck that. Um, but majority of the time, when people do have unibrows, their eyebrows are like on the thicker side. So they would follow the same thing, same grooming techniques. If you want to keep your unibrow and you want to fill in the unibrow, yeah, definitely use the same techniques. So you would like brush how the hair is growing. But for people who have thicker or thin eyebrows, there's like the three main grooming techniques, and pretty much everybody does the same. Any other questions? We'll be wrapping up soon. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this class. My email is right here, lilyjam9@gmail.com. You guys can definitely just message me and request this PowerPoint, and I will send it to you guys. I'll try to get on tonight and send whatever you guys have asked for in the past as well. I'm sorry, like I said in the beginning, I have a hard time getting on that email. So patience is very much appreciated. And whenever you guys are requesting a PowerPoint, I will definitely get it to you as fast as I can. I have another seminar tomorrow. If you guys are wanting to join, tomorrow we're going to do more of a skincare um, seminar. We're going to be talking about serums and masks and kind of like getting a little bit more in depth about skincare. I do have a skincare 101 class I do teach, and makeup 101 class I teach as well. I have like a few new names that I see in here. So I just want to let you guys know, just keep those in mind whenever you do see them. Um, so yeah, we kind of have fun with knowledge of makeup and skincare. And I always tell everybody, if there is a few different makeup topics that you guys are like super interested in and you want more details and more education on, whether it be makeup or skincare, you guys can give me those suggestions in the email. Just send it my way, whatever it may be. If you want to go into more details about serums, if you just want a whole class about, facial masks, you guys let me know. But I try to like group things together and then break them up and go into a little bit more detail. So you guys let me know. And yeah, email me if you guys want the PowerPoints, for any suggestions. I hope you guys got a lot out of this eyebrow seminar. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I hope you guys had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Sucks we all have to go back to work tomorrow, but that's life and it's going to be okay because warm weather is coming and summer is here. So again, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me just get out of here so I can end it. There we go. All right, guys, stay safe. Have a good one. Bye, guys.